What is going on, Niner fans? It is Thursday night. Thursday night football just finished. In a week from today, we'll be finishing up Thursday night football home opener at Levi Stadium. But there's actually a home opener for the 49ers this weekend. As you know, the 49ers are wearing their red home jerseys in LA, and we have a couple more days until the game, until Sunday. I can't wait. We get a West Coast time game, a 1 o'clock game. Don't have to stress and wake up too early. Get the little sleep in. It's gonna be nice to actually sleep until like 8 a.m. in the morning. I haven't done that in a long time, so I'm excited. I hope you guys are. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's Thursday? I know it's late, but have had a busy day, and then I came home and watched the game. How's everybody doing? We got a game on Sunday, and it is close. We had some good news in terms of injuries this week. There really isn't any. Dre Greenlaw came back after being held out of practice yesterday with a groin injury. That is great news. And I want to talk about Brock Purdy, and he just continues to ascend. He's getting a lot of praise now. Obviously, Steve Young gave him a lot of praise, and that was a good thing to see. And then we got to talk about the Niner fans officially taking over Levi South, as I love to call it. You cannot spell SoFi Stadium without the SF. How are we doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Let's get right to it. So one of the coolest things I saw today on, the timeline and everything, you had Brock Purdy. He's getting a lot of praise from certain people. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Miguel? What's up, Debbie? He's getting a lot of praise from people. Players. Obviously, Micah Parsons a couple of days ago, he gave him a lot of respect. The players are loving him. Steve Young, former Niner, a legend, a Niner legend, my favorite player of all time. Steve Young, he knows a thing or two about being a good quarterback in this league. And he says that mentally, Brock Purdy is ahead of what's happening on the field. He's ahead of what is going on. Like he's already seeing things, before they even start, which is awesome. He says a lot of NFL quarterbacks, you just hope that they're kind of with it, right? You just hope that they can at least, be there in the moment. He goes, most of them are behind it. Like they're not able to process and see things happening. And he basically said that. He was on KNBR today. That was the gist of what he's saying. But he's basically saying that Brock is processing things. He's so smart. He is like ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. He's 23, and he just has so much smarts, and he understands the game more than a lot of quarterbacks, especially at his young age, 23 years old. And again, I think the 4 years as a starter has been in college did a great job for him. It's really, really did a good job for him. It helped him develop. He talked about it today on his press conference, and he says, some players, they leave early. He goes, but for me, I felt like all those years in college, it really gave him the reps. And he goes, I felt confident coming into the league when I had all those reps. And once I had my moment, I knew I was going to be able to do well because I believed in myself and I got a lot of seasoning. That's what Brock Purdy was basically saying today. And you know what? It's true that, Brock Purdy, you see him out there. He looks like a 10-year veteran. He looks like a 10-year veteran. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You watch Brock Purdy, and the offense is so smooth. It's amazing to see this offense without any hitch in its step, and everything's running so smooth. You got a good quarterback running the show. There's no quarterback controversy right now, and it's very refreshing. To me, it's not. It's very refreshing to me seeing what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. Mario says, Adam reported Puka didn't practice. Is he going to play? I kind of want him to play. I don't know. We'll see the final practice report tomorrow. Friday is usually the day where you really get to see the game status reports. So we'll wait. Dre Greenlaw came back for the 49ers. Sam Womack was out of practice today with the knee injury. So it's hard to tell midweek. We'll see these practice reports on Friday. I want to see Puka Nacua playing with the Rams. I want him to be 100%. I don't want any excuses for the Rams. I want them to have Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua, waiver wire gems from the week. I want to see them play because they won't have Cooper Kupp. I want to see them play. But getting back to Brock Purdy, this guy has become a flat-out star in the making. Like, he's young. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's so humble with it, too. Like, you could just see he's confident. He has a nice confidence about him, but he's starting to celebrate more. He's starting to have that swagger. Like, when he celebrates a touchdown, it's unbelievable. There was a question they asked him about the celebration. A little little slime celebration, and he goes, I want to have fun with it. I want the players to feel the vibe and feel the energy. And he goes, I see my receivers doing it, so I might as well too. Yeah, I'm sure the receivers see that when Debo and Ayuk see Brock Purdy going out there and celebrating and being hyped. They're like, that's our quarterback, and it gets them juice. When your quarterback is hyped up and they feed off that energy, they feed off that energy. Yeah, Debbie says it's a sneaky swagger. I don't even think it's sneaky anymore. I know sometimes he throws little things here. You notice he's like smiling and grinning. But, man, I mean, when he scores a touchdown, the sellies he has, I mean, God, man, Brock's got some energy to him. Energy. And, again, the players feed off that energy. They love it. They love it. And it's like, you remember last year, NFL Films, there's like the sideline, mic'd up. And Brock goes up to Debo and he goes, games are so much fun with you. He goes, I love having you on this team. Like, those little moments go a long way. And today, I know it's a small moment to some, but it was pretty funny. Like, the quirkiness of this team, the chemistry is unmatched. You had George Kittle and Brock Purdy. They had a bet going into the Iowa State game. That's where they both played college, right? Iowa State. It's a rivalry. And, unfortunately for Brock, Iowa State loses to Iowa, and he had to wear the mascot head to his press conference. He comes in, he does it like a champ. But I love the chemistry between Kittle and Brock Purdy. If you remember George Kittle, he had that chemistry with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, they had that instant chemistry, and that's what makes your team good. When your quarterback is vibing with the players and the receivers and the tight ends and all his offensive weapons, it's going to be great because they're family. They're like brothers. They want to go out there and do great for each other. They're going to play hard for each other because they're a brother, and that's kind of what I see Brock Purdy doing now with this team. Again, Steve Young says he's mentally ahead of the game, and I see it too. You can just see him reading defenses and being able to scan the field. When his his mobility, that's where you have to really look at it and say, oh man, this kid's mobility is unbelievable because he's scanning, and when he sees something and he can't, and he has to kind of move around and escape the pocket, he can do it because he's looking, he's scanning. And then he'll still scan even though he's running, and he'll be able to dot it up and he'll be able to throw, It's impressive. I've seen a lot of film on this guy already. I watched his college tape and he looks so good on college, and it's just transcending into the pros. He knows how to understand the offense. He has it, just like Brandon Ayuk said the other day. And who else supports Brock Purdy? And it's the biggest supporter of them all. It's Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is his biggest supporter. And to me, that is massive because you finally have Kyle Shanahan supporting his quarterback. You could just sense it. Like, he's teaching him on the sidelines. You watch the games. He's like, he's hyped up with Brock, and he's like trying to explain things, and he's teaching it. He's having fun. Reminds me of like Kyle Shanahan and his son. It's like his son. That's the way I can explain it. If you guys watched that 49 hours video last night, and I'm sure everybody has, it's been posted everywhere. At the end, Brock Purdy breaks down the locker room speech. Him and Fred Warner, they dap it up. Right after the end, you see Kyle Shanahan go and just like give him this hug and like pat him on the back, and he just loves Brock Purdy. And the look they gave each other, it's like, man, Kyle Shanahan has his guy. Kyle loves him. And I love that for Kyle because it's been hard for him to find a quarterback for the 49ers. And every single year we are here just crying about the quarterback, controversy, who's the quarterback, blah, 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 blah. Kyle found his guy, man, and it might have taken a couple of years. It might have taken a 7th round freaking pick, last pick in the draft. It's a remarkable story. It might have taken picking the wrong guy in the third, with the number 3 pick. Like, I get it. I know they traded up and did everything they did for trade, but Kyle found his guy. And I'm okay with them messing up and passing on Mahomes and this. If Brock Purdy takes this team to the Super Bowl, none of it matters, ladies and gentlemen. We found our guy. Kyle loves him. You remember last year, the picture of Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy just sitting there in the locker room, only those two? I wonder what they said to each other. And this weekend, when he dapped up Brock, man, you could just sense the emotion. He absolutely loves Brock Purdy. And that's why he's going to succeed, because he has the confidence of his coach, his teammates. He's a captain. Zach says, BCB has always had the swagger, and that's why we love him. He absolutely has this. I love his energy, Zach. Mario says, let's just say Purdy wins the Super Bowl this year. Will he want to get paid now? If I'm Brock Purdy, absolutely. That's going to get a little tricky. Again, if Brock goes and has a magical season, he's got to take a pay bump, at least for a very I mean, he's under a rookie contract, and that's why you get rookies because they're very, cost efficient. But I mean, Brock Purdy's an anomaly. 7th-round pick, last pick in the draft. He's not even getting paid $1 million. You would think that they're going to have to pay him a little bit more, right? I don't know. I definitely think he'll have to get paid more. Especially if he wins the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy's not playing for pennies on the dollar. But we'll have to worry about that later. But I think the 49ers know that. And I think they're trying to make sure they have a lot of money because they got Brandon Ayuk that needs to get paid. They got Talanoa Hufanga that needs to get paid. There's a lot of guys that need to get paid on this team. And they're core players. Like, Hufanga's a core player. He's going to be the next wave of, like, captains. Brandon Ayuk, same thing. Like, those guys, you cannot lose Brandon Ayuk and Talanoa Hufanga. And Brock Purdy, if he is the franchise quarterback, you're going to have to pay him. Right now, he's pennies on the dollar. And it's helpful for your team because guess what? You're trying to win a Super Bowl and you have an abundance of talent. You have so much players on this team. It's like pick your poison, right? It's like the Marvel universe. This team has so much talent. It's unbelievable. It's like yeah, definitely pick your poison. That's literally what it is. I think Kyle was it George Kittle that said something today? What did he say? I want to get this quote right. I think Barrows might have tweeted this. What did George Kittle say today? He says this is George Kittle on the 49ers weapons, on the offensive weaponry. He goes, it's like Madden for Kyle. He says, it's like Madden for Kyle. He says he can make up whatever he wants to make up. Who do you want to take away? Like last week, the Steelers. They had Minkah Fitzpatrick following me around the field, right? The Minkah Fitzpatrick was following George Kittle last week. So, okay, you erased George Kittle. That's fine. Right, guess what? You left Debo, you left Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey one-on-one with everybody else. Congratulations. How did that work for you guys? The Kittles, I didn't see the whole classic. He says, how did that work for you guys? And that's true. You left Kittle, or you left Debo, you left Ayuk, you left CMC open. And who cooked you? CMC and Brandon Ayuk. Because you can't cover them all. You can't cover them all, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot cover every single one of those guys. It is like Madden. It is a phenomenal offense, man. And that is why Brock Purdy can dice this league up because he has such a good team around him. And he's smart. Like Steve Young said, he's mentally ahead of everybody. He knows what people are doing before they know what they're doing. Because Brock is smart. 4 years of college at Iowa State. And it's a big school. That's a good school. He played really good teams. He was seasoned. He had the reps. And that's the difference. What is the big thing everybody said about Trey Lance, right? He didn't have the reps. Brock Purdy came in with the reps. 4 years. I don't care if he's undersized, whatever the case is. He is a good quarterback. He's smart, and he mentally has it. That's what Steve Young says. What's up, Polish? What's up, Randy Daytona? He says, live and direct. Susan, she says, hi, I hate Philly. Carry on. We all hate Philly. They won tonight. It wasn't really the most impressive game. For them, but they won. Nonetheless, I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to say anything. They do look a little bit less fearsome as they were last year, but again, the 49ers started off slow, and they picked off late, so I can't sit here and hold judgment. Week 13, a lot of things are going to change by that point, so it's still early. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Niners have to handle business this weekend. Can't worry about Philly. Terrence says, I bet Brandon doesn't think he's the fourth option no more. I don't think he is either. I don't think he does. I mean, man, this guy, you could just see. You want to talk about confidence. We're talking about Brock Purdy tonight. You want to talk about confidence. Brandon Ayuk is super. He believes in himself. Like, you can just see him. He's so much more vocal. You see him on the 49 hours and all the videos and stuff they had this week. I mean, it was Brandon Ayuk was just confidence. He believed in himself. Debo says, I thought he had all the tells. And Brandon Ayuk says, he ain't got him. He can't stop me. They can't stop me. They cannot stop Brandon Ayuk. And he knows it. He said it this offseason. He's about to take off. And so far, he has. first week of the year, offensive player of the week, and he scored the first touchdown of every damn player in the NFL this last week. I know Thursday night, whatever. I'm talking about Sunday. Out of all the Sunday games, Brandon Ayuk had your first touchdown. Chef Curry cooking. He is the chef, man. We got to get the shirts. We need to make a Chef Curry shirt. If there's any designers out there, we got to get this going. We need to get a Chef Ayuk, Chef Curry, Chef Ayuk shirt. I'm telling you, Chef Ayuk, put it in the pot. I got a crazy vision. I think Chef Ayuk's gonna cook all season, and we got to get on the Chef Ayuk t-shirts. We got to get them made before somebody else steals it, because I'm telling you, that's gonna be the nickname I'm rolling with all year. You're gonna see it. You're gonna definitely see it trending eventually, if it isn't already. Man. Yeah, Susan, I wasn't super impressed. Randy says Terrence 100%. Brock and BA have made strides, and that is a key right there, because you got to remember last year, Brock Purdy got thrown into the fire last year. They had pretty good chemistry, not bad, but it got better and better. And you can see a whole full training camp now with Brock and Brandon Ayuk and all the players. You can just sense the chemistry's there. We know Brock and Kittle had a really strong connection last year, but now I feel like Brandon Ayuk has really, really got that chemistry with them. And I remember last year, the drop touchdown pass in the end zone, the amazing play. Brock Purdy scrambled across the universe, and then he throws the dot at the end zone, and Brandon Ayuk drops it, and he was like, I owe Brock a touchdown. I remember he said it. He goes, I owe Brock a touchdown. And now you can just sense it. Like, they're so locked in, man, together. And that's a scary, scary thing. When you're finally getting that chemistry, when you're locked in with the guy, it's going to be hard to stop. And I think now their chemistry is only getting better. Let Brandon Ayuk, let the chef cook, man. Let Brandon Ayuk cook. I love Brandon Ayuk, man. And this guy is, vibes are going up. But this weekend, I think Debo is going to be the one that cooks the most. But we'll talk about that a little later. This is what we got to talk about. Juan says, we are taking over LA Sunday. Let's get to that, because the 49ers are taking over LA on Sunday. Obviously, the running joke in the world, it's not really a joke anymore. It's the 49ers' second home stadium is SoFi Stadium, Levi South, as we like to call it. Like, it's kind of crazy. The 49ers always send more fans to LA than the LA Rams have at the stadium, right? And now we all know the 49ers are wearing their home red jerseys on a road game. That's despicable. That to me, I still like, man, I'm a petty king myself, but to me that was like the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. It was pretty funny. Now today, Nick Wagner of he's a 49er beat writer. I think he works for ESPN also. So he says, this is what he tweeted. We posted this out earlier. He says the annual SoFi Stadium projection from Vivid Seats, right? We always try to look at these projections every year. We always post it. And he says the projection from Vivid Seats for Sunday's 49ers versus Rams game has a current forecast of 64% Niner fans versus 36% Rams fans. 64% of the road team fans are going to be in attendance. It's not a road game, ladies and gentlemen. This is a home game. This is the home opener. 64. And I'm sure the number probably will go up by Sunday. That is so crazy to me. 64 to 36. Bro, that's crazy. It is definitely a red out. Oscar, he says it's a red out. It is a red out. Like, can you imagine if you're the LA Rams, you come out of the tunnel and you walk out in your home stadium and you see all the road team fans, you see the road team in their home jerseys. Like, that is embarrassing to me if I'm a Rams fan. Oh my God, 64%. You gotta be kidding me. I love it. The 49ers are taking over, man. Robbie says, how and why did the NFL allow the red jerseys to happen? I mean, I love it, but I've never heard of it. So I think the Rams opted to wear some alternate. They wanted to wear some cool alternate jersey, whatever. And I guess it's a white jersey. So the 49ers, when they found this out, they said, oh, can we wear road jerseys or can we wear our home jerseys? If you guys are going to be wearing an alternate, this can be our alternate. And they agreed to it. Like, that is I wish they would have wore the red home throwback, the red throwbacks. I wish they would have wore the red throwbacks, but they're gonna wear their standard home because it's like a home game. That is, it's still crazy to me. Can you imagine? And then on Thursday night they have the home opener. It's like a freaking home game back to back. I can't get over, ladies and gentlemen. It is so funny to me. It is actually, it sent me when I saw that and I saw the notification. I was like, no, no. Like I thought, like Matt Barrows tweeted that out first, and I thought he was trolling. I was like, that's a joke, right? And then the 49, and then I posted it, and I was like, I hope I'm not like wrong, but Barrows knows his stuff, right? I mean, he's a credential reporter. He's a beat writer. Like, he knows. He's probably got the news from the 49ers. And then they posted it later, and I'm like, oh my God, ain't no way. The fact that they're doing this is just, it's pettiness on every level. But 49ers got to win this game so we can like bask in it. Because if you do this, you do all this and lose, it's going to be a bad luck. It's going to be a bad luck. But yeah. Mario says, I bought 7 tickets from the Rams website. I'm sure I'm not included in that. You bought 7 tickets from the Rams website. Wow. Yeah, maybe they count that as like Rams tickets because you bought it from them. I don't know. That is interesting. I don't know how that works. But it's specifically from Vivid Seats, so it's their projection. I don't know. I don't know if they're projecting from like Rams fans, or I don't know how they distinguish that. But from Vivid Seats specifically, they run that. They take the logistics and all the stats from people buying stuff, the area codes, and they figure it's 64% to 36% Niner fans. Juan says, I really think it's more than 65%. It probably is. Like when you see Sunday, there's going to be a lot of videos. There's going to be people, and I know it's going to be one of the posts of how many Niner fans. I already know it's going to be, oh my God, look at all the Niner fans, sea of red. I can't wait for that post. It really is going to be amazing. Fern says, the reason why people here in LA are Niner fans is because people that grew up here in the 2000s didn't have a football team in LA. I'm glad I'm a Niner fan. Yeah, that's true, because they were St. Louis, so you had nobody to root for. So you stuck as a Niner fan. So I understand that. I see that. But LA fans are fickle, man. They're fickle. They did have the Rams, and then they went to St. Louis, and they came back. LA fans are fickle. But you're right. It's like Vegas. I grew up in Vegas. We didn't have a pro sports team. We had no pro sports teams at all. Now, when I moved, they went and got all these pro sports teams. Like, you really going to switch up on me? But I grew up as a Niner fan because my dad loved them. We lived in Cali for a small period. And I don't know, just a Niner fan. That's the way I was raised. So in Vegas, when you don't have a sports team, you're free to pick who you wanted to. And I picked the Niners. Trolling by proxy. What other teams travel as well as we do? I don't know. Honestly, the 49ers travel good. Like, I know the Cowboys, actually, no. The Cowboys travel pretty good. I'll say that. They travel well. When I go to Niner games and the Cowboys are here, there's a lot of Cowboy fans. I say that. They travel pretty dang good. And I know they travel to other stadiums pretty good. I heard Pittsburgh fans travel well. I remember a couple years back, 2019, when I went to the Pittsburgh and 49ers game in Levi's, there's quite a bit of yellow in the stadium. So, yeah, Pittsburgh, Dallas, they travel well. They travel very well. Swaggy says they're going to have the fake crowd noise. They always do. That fake crowd noise is so preposterous. It's so cheesy, so cringy. I hate it. I remember the times I've been at SoFi Stadium. You hear this, it's like a crowd track, right? Like a laugh track on a TV show. And it's like, and I'm looking around and just people are sitting there like, they're just sitting there. And I'm like, where the hell where's the noise coming from? Where's the noise coming? And it's like pumping through the stadium. I'm like, come on, man. And then they got this like nasty blue light that gives you a headache. SoFi Stadium is a mess. Like, it looks pretty. It's a very beautiful looking stadium. Like, I'll give it that. It's very modern and, it's state of the art, but it is a tacky experience. It's fake, just like LA, man. I mean, no disrespect to LA, but it's everything you would expect for a stadium in LA. So much fake crowd noise. It's like a Hollywood movie, right? When you go to a movie, there's a laugh track, this, that, the other, or a TV show. That's what it is. It's like you're in a reality TV show when you're watching the Rams. Juan says he'll send me videos. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this game. I can't wait for this game, man. I can't wait. I know people will tag me. Hope to see all the great content on these videos. It's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait. And then Thursday, the Giants. So the Niners got to handle business though, because it's a short week. They got to take care of the Rams. They got to take the division game. You can't lose this game. And then boom, short week, turnaround, home opener against the Giants. And the Giants, they came off a really tough loss. I'm sure they want to get that taste out of their mouth. They're going to play Arizona this weekend. That's a good tune-up game to kind of get back in the swing of things, to kind of get a dub under the column. And I think after that, the Giants will be a little bit more refreshed. I think they'll be a little bit more confident. So the Giants will have to travel all the way, though, from New York to the Bay. That's a shit travel for them. That's a horrible travel. We're going to be up the street to L.A., hop, skip, and a jump. We come back, we're cool. So the travel is going to be tough for the Giants. So they better pray they win against Arizona, right? They better pray they win to Arizona, because then they got a West Coast trip to the Santa Clara against the 49ers. It's not easy. So the 49ers definitely have they have the ability to start the season 3-0. And then they play the Cardinals. They have a chance to go 4-0 to start the season. And that is what the 49ers need to get up. They have to get off to a hot start. And it starts this Sunday with the takeover in LA. What's up, Shaw Show? Throwback. How's it going? Fern says the Packers travel well. The Packers, they travel well. You're absolutely right. The Packer fans travel good. I had a friend who's gone to Lambeau, and she said that was a hell of an experience. I want to go to Lambeau one day. I wish I would have went to the Lambeau playoff game that year. It just didn't work out because everybody we were going with, my crew, just logistically didn't work out. We went to Dallas. We didn't get to go to the Green Bay game, and then we went to LA for that NFC Championship game. I wish we would have went to the Green Bay one, though, because I heard that was such an amazing game. I would have loved to. But their fans, they do travel well. Every time I've been to a Levi's game and we play Green Bay, there's quite a bit of Green Bay fans in the stadium. So, yeah, definitely they travel well. I agree. Susan says, I heard they aren't going home after Arizona. They would probably be wise to stay on the West Coast. It's kind of like the 49ers when they go to the East Coast, right? And they stay, in Connecticut or whatever the case is. They stay up there in the East Coast. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants stick around and stay on the West Coast. They don't go back to New York. That would probably be smart. So, yeah, that makes sense to me, Susan. Anthony says, we have the ability to start the season 17 and oh my God, speak it to it. Existent. Woo! Manifest it. Can you imagine 17? Let's go 1 week at a time. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. That would be phenomenal, though. My man, the Shaw Show, says, we need the Giants to win this week because if they lose, they will be very hungry against us. Absolutely. You don't want them to be having to play backs against the wall, 0-2 adversity. They'll come out and play like it's the last game of the season. They're going to have to, they're going to play like that regardless. You know that they're going to come prepared. They're going to play hungry, but you're right. I see what you're saying. If they lose and they go 0-2, they're going to be desperate. They're going to try to go all out in that game. So I agree with you. And Andre says, what's up, my boy? Big fan of the parade. Appreciate you, Andre. Thanks for the support. Thank you for everybody for the support. I hope everybody's, again, having a good day, having a good night. It's Thursday. It's a little late over here. The day's over, but I hope everybody had a good Thursday. The countdown to LA is dwindling down, and I can't wait. And I cannot wait. And Monica says, there was surprisingly a ton of Miami fans at the game last year. That's true. I remember that. I was at the game, and there was quite a bit of Miami fans. They traveled well to that game last year. Jason says, who cares how hungry the Giants are? They can't block the Niners' defensive line. Woo, talk to them, baby. That defensive line that the 49ers have is so deadly. And they haven't even hit their peak. Like Drake Jackson, he was amazing. And he's going to benefit from how good this D-line is. Javon Hargrave was a menace in the middle, and he's only going to get better and stronger. Chemistry is going to get better with Arik Armstead. Those two guys are going to be such a force inside. And then Nick Bosa. We haven't even talked about Nick Bosa this week. He's back in full swing. He's going to be fully ready to go. He's had a whole week of practice. That's what he just needed to get in game. He just needed to get in shape. Last week he was thrown into the fire, obviously the contract situation. He didn't really practice. He was coming off the high of signing that contract. He was on a snap count. Yeah, I know he got pancake, blah, blah, blah. This week he's back, ready. He's practiced, and I think he's going to be tearing it up this week. I think Nick Bosa gets 2 sacks. I think Nick Bosa gets 2 sacks this week. Anthony says Drake Saxon, dark horse DPOY candidate. Can you imagine Drake Jackson DPOY? If he racks up like 20 sacks, it might happen. 49ers first takes. My man. He says, I found you. I'm glad you found me. This is the new channel. My boy Aaron, my co-host on Tuesday nights. 49er first takes. What's up, my boy? How you doing, Aaron? Nick is looking good. I'm sure the ladies love Nick, man. He looked pretty intense in that practice get up. He's ripped, man. That boy's ripped. Boy is ripped. Mario says the Eagles defense doesn't like the same last year. Mario, yeah, I've watched both games of the Eagles this year. I'm not going to sit here and say they're terrible. I'm not going to say that this and that and the other. I'm not going to judge them on 2 games. But, I mean, early on, they just don't look as impressive as they looked last year. Last year, they came in and they were dominating from week to week. And I think that's what we expect for them to dominate. Like the Niners dominated week 1. I just haven't seen that dominating performance. But, again, they are 2-0, so you can't take anything away from them. They've won the games. At the end of the day, that's what you're there to do is win games. They haven't been as dominant as they were last year, right? So I'll agree with that. But we'll see. It's a long season, week 13. Who knows how these teams are going to look by then? But maybe they're just getting off to a sluggish start. But they definitely don't look like they have that same pop. But again, teams are also probably putting a target on their back, and there's a lot of film on them now. And then Jalen Hurts, he's been in the league, and played a full year there. So people are going to be gunning for them. They got a target on their back. They were the number 1 team last year in the NFC. But it's still gonna be a battle between the Eagles and the Niners week 13, no matter what. Fern Dog says, I say we're going 14-4 this season. That would be fun. That would be 14-4. I think it's possible. If the Niners can get off to a very blistering start, anything's possible. And that's what happened with the Eagles did last year. They got off to such a hot start and they lost towards the end, but it didn't matter because they got off to such a good start. And that's what I want the Niners to do. That's what I hope they do. But we'll see. I think they could go 4-0 in these next couple of games, right? We got LA, the Giants, then Arizona. That'd be 4-0 start. Then you got the Cowboys. I was talking to one of my best friends, and he said, and I was like, no, bro, you can't say this. He says, if the 49ers have to take an early loss this year, if they do, he would be okay with it being Dallas. Although, we hate Dallas. He goes, not because I want Dallas, but he goes, you get it out your system, get one of those early losses out your system. So then if the playoffs come, you don't lose a playoff game instead of a regular season. Now, he tried to explain it to me like that. I was like, no, we're not losing to him in the regular season. We're not losing to him in the playoffs. But I see what he's saying. Once you start beating a team and, it starts building up, a streak has to come to end, just like the Rams, right? The Niners have crushed them, I think, 8 in a row or something. And then, boom, here comes the postseason game, and then it was a loss. So I don't think that way. That's the way he said it. But, hey, at the end of the day, I think the Niners can start off the season maybe 6-0, maybe 7-0. I don't know. Dallas will be a test. They look good week 1. But I know for the very least of it, they can start 4-0. 4-0. And Jason says, just don't ruin my Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. Absolutely. If they lose to the Seahawks on Thanksgiving, I will throw up my turkey dinner. I will be so sick to my stomach. Christmas, I will not forgive them because I'm going to that game. And I do not want to see them lose to the Ravens. I don't want to see them lose on Christmas night. So you're right. Susan says, I think that way too. Already thinking odds of beating the Rounds down because we have so many. Yeah, and sometimes it's just weird. It's like if you're like superstitious, sometimes you look at those streaks and you're like, the 49ers have beat this team so many times. Because, you watch the game and the announcers, they bring it up all the time. Oh, the 49ers have this many wins over this team. Da-da-da-da-da. And then it catches up to you. It does catch up to you. And then you're like, the one time where you're hoping that the streak continues, it blows up in your face. So I always hate when that happens. I just hope the 49ers steamroll everybody. Fern says we can possibly be like the 2019 49ers. I really think you're right. I kind of feel the vibe. Like the locker room is electric. The talent is amazing. D-line is incredible with Hargrave now. You know, you got Hargrave, Armstead, Jackson, and Nick Bosa. Like Drake Jackson might be the missing piece we needed. Like remember when D Ford was there, but he couldn't stay healthy? Like D Ford, that speed rusher. Drake Jackson could be that guy that we've been missing on the edge, on the opposite side of Bosa. We can never find that second guy, and now we have him. And then we missed DeForest Buckner, right? That interior presence. I got Hargrave. I mean, they had DJ Jones for a while, which was amazing, but then you got rid of him, right? And it was Armstead. A lot of pressure on him. Now you have Armstead and Hargrave. Those two in the middle, amazing. And the offense is amazing, right? So many weapons. And then not only that, you have just the experience, the hunger, the locker room. It's just a perfect storm. And I feel like they're going to go on a hot run to start the season. So we shall see. But let's do one more question here, and I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, appreciate the guys. Appreciate everybody out there for all the support. Thank you for subscribing to the new channel. I know we had to start over, but it is what it is. We're starting over from scratch. We're going to grind this page up from the bottom. You know, it sucks to have to restart, but we are doing it. We're going to grind it, and I appreciate all the support on all the platforms. We've been cooking new season. I love when new season because there's always content. There's always good stuff to post. It's fun. It's engaging, you know. So appreciate everybody that's in the chat tonight and always, and everybody that's subscribing to the channel. If you're watching this later, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you write some comments or whatever, even if you don't like me, and say, you're a piece of crap, Raj. Help the channel grow by telling everybody I'm a piece of crap. Oh, boy. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your night. I love you. And, you know, take care. Susan, thank you. She says her favorite Niners content creator out there. Thank you. Jason, this is 100% our best shot since 2019. I absolutely agree. The vibes are amazing. And the quarterback situation is ironed out and smooth. Kyle loves Brock. We love Brock. And there's no quarterback controversy. That is the most amazing thing. There's no quarterback controversy. And just like Steve Young said, which we were talking about tonight, he's got the mental ability. He is ahead of everybody else. This young man, Brock Purdy, is only 23 years old. And he's only getting better. Shout out to Brock Purdy. I love the guy. Thank you guys for the support. Julius, appreciate you. Keep those notifications on. I'll see you soon. Bang, bang. And again.